my final prep for my last bodybuilding show ever, I've gotten stuck with my weight loss. And what I learned is exactly what I'm about to show you guys so that you can apply it for your life and not hit plateaus and make sure you break through them. You're gonna have to bear with me because I try to draw pictures to make this a little bit more interesting for you guys, and I'm not an artist. So let's just get right into it. All right, so first, this is my thermostat. Look how cute that is. This is the box with the little numbers, right? Very nice. I know, thank you. And what you wanna think about when you're dieting, you wanna think about your metabolism like a thermostat. When you start dieting, you turn the thermostat down. You get colder, right? And what I mean by that is your metabolism can slow down. And that's when you'll see progress either stall out or completely stop altogether. So this is what I'm gonna show you guys how you break through that. One of the ways that we use is by throwing more logs. This is a fire, and these are gonna be logs, okay? They look more like bricks, but they're gonna be logs. By throwing more logs on the fire, you can then crank up the heat again, right? And get your metabolism jump started and get it burning again like it should be. And this can be very, very vital to your success, because if you keep the thermostat at 65, if you keep your metabolism down low and you can't turn it back up, you're gonna stall, and then you're gonna hit a plateau, and then you're gonna say weight loss doesn't work for me, it's my genetics, it's because my cat is named Sparky and not Spiffy. I mean, and all the things are gonna come out. You're gonna be the next excuse factory manager, and we don't want that. So let me show you how to break through that. You're gonna place these logs on the fire. Another thing I wanna demonstrate for you guys is if you're weighing in every single day, which is fine as long as you can handle it mentally, that's fine. But this is my little depiction here, okay? This is the ocean, and this is a graph. Maybe okay, this is the wrong color. But this is a graph, all right? So this is the trend. This is the trend line, all right? What you wanna think about when you weigh in every day is like this. It's like a wave, right? You might weigh in at, I don't know, 185, 186, 187. Then you drop down. Now you're at 182, 181, and it's gonna keep going like that. And this can drive you crazy. It drives me crazy all the time. I'm actually gonna put my current weights up right here so that you guys can see Mike's not full of it. It shows right here. I've gone up 3 pounds, I've gone down 4 pounds, I've gone up 2 pounds. You get the point. When you weigh in daily, it's gonna look like that. It's gonna be up, down, up, down. If you're doing that, understand, this is key, that it's gonna go up and down. Now, what you wanna look for is the trends. That's what all good coaches do. That's what I do with my clients. And that's what even my coach does with me, right? I weigh in every day, but then I put every single number down for 7 days and we take the average. So on average, even though my weight looks like this, up, down, on average, I might go 260, 258, 256. And that's how you know you're making progress. So that's why I drew this right here. If you're going down, trending down, okay, you're golden. You're doing great. You're like the Golden Girls. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It was on Lifetime, great show. Say what you want. My mom watched it, so I watched it. Now you might be thinking, all right, well, like, I'm not losing that much weight every week, even if I take the average. So how do I know if I'm stalling? How do I know if I'm not? Good question. This is what we call the true stall. A true stall is gonna be 10 to 14 days of your average weight, right? So if you go 7 days and your average is 198, 7 days and your average is 198, then you've hit a true stall. 100% for a fact, you've stalled out. Your thermostat's on 65, you're screwed, that's it. I'm gonna show you guys how to revive that. I'm just going over some key concepts first, and then we're gonna get to the other part in the later part of the video. What is a stall? This is not a stall. If you're losing a half a pound to 1 pound a week, even though it's slow, even though it might be driving you nuts, that is not a stall. That can be due to things like sodium, water weight, that can be bad sleep, that can be stress from work. Maybe you got a puppy and he's peeing all over the floor. Maybe you got a new job position and you're stressed out of your mind. Maybe you've been sleeping 5 hours when normally you sleep 8 hours. Believe it or not, I myself slept in even this past weekend for 10 hours and I lost 2.5 pounds. Like that. I didn't change anything else, okay? But using the method I'm about to show you guys, I broke through my own plateau. right? I think I lost 2.5 pounds the day after I implemented the strategy I'm about to show you. All right, now I told you guys this would be quick. We're already at the good part. So what are the logs? How do I put logs on the fire? This is what we call a refeed in bodybuilding. Or you can just think of it as eating more food, right? Now that doesn't mean go to Chick-fil-A. That doesn't mean go to Wingstop, because that's processed food. That's gonna tear up your gut. That's gonna tear up your toilet, more importantly. And most importantly, it's not gonna get you the result that you're thinking it's gonna get you. That is not what we're talking about. There's 2 different types of refeeds that I would highly suggest that you try out. Number 1 is the best way. You want to just increase the carbs you're having. So, for example, just to make it simple, if you're having 5 meals of chicken and rice and your rice is at 100 grams, guess what? For the high day, you're gonna have that rice be 200 grams per meal, right? You're gonna double it, which sounds insane. It might sound scary, but it's not, okay? Like for example, I might go from 350 grams of carbs all the way up to 500 grams of carbs on my high day. And it's not really a high day, I shouldn't have said that. It's a refeed, right? The other way to do it that's not as optimal and really requires some mental, some brain power, if you want to say that, and some self-control, but it can still work. It definitely does. But if you mess it up, it won't work. Something you could do is eat your regular meal plan, and then you can have one of the following. You could have like a foot long from Subway. You could go to Jersey Mike's. You could have like Five Guys burgers and fries. I've done that before. You can go to your favorite burger spot, get a double patty cheeseburger and get a large fry, something like that. If you're gonna drink pop, make sure it's diet. We're not going crazy here, okay? We're just trying to pump more calories in. Now, you're gonna replace one of your meals with this meal, obviously, and I would highly recommend the best way to do it is after training. After you train a leg day, it takes lots of calories, lots of burning, right? After you train a leg day or after you train a back day. How do you know it's time for a refeed? Okay, there's 2 different ways, all right? You can look at a true stall and know that you're time for a refeed because you're not hitting a 1/2 pound to a pound of loss every single week on average. Very important, on average. If you're not doing that, then you already know. But if you want to be more intuitive about it, you're going to look at your training performance. This is why, again, I always say track your numbers. If your numbers are going down, if you're feeling weak in the gym, if you're feeling tired in the gym, if you're just feeling run down and just like really beat to crap and you feel like you're not recovering, then it's time for a refeed. I would recommend literally the simplest way is as long as you're tracking your macros, which you should be, because if you're not tracking what you put in your mouth, you have no reason to even complain or even talk about weight loss because you're not even in that realm yet, right? Because if you're not tracking what you put in your mouth, you don't care, and that's that. I wouldn't even change the meals, okay? I would just start eating a little bit more carbs each meal, especially around training. Have a great day, get your pumps back for a day, enjoy that extra food, the extra carbs, right? Have, 3-4 ounces extra of sweet potato. Have 40, 50 grams extra of oatmeal in the morning. Have a little bit more fruit at night. Have a little bit more Greek yogurt at night. Non-fat, of course, because we're not trying to add fats. You want to do carbs. Why? Good question. Because you want stuff that's going to be used by your glycogen, right? So you want it to be used by the muscle. Fat can be stored as fat just too easily. So you don't want to play with fire in that way. But you want to turn your thermostat back up. And that's what this does. Something to note, if you do this and you're watching your weight every day, do not freak out if the weight temporarily goes up. You, me, and everybody in the world has a different response time to this. This is something I learned in prep. And this is something that you play with because as you get closer to your show date or your final date or your goal weight date, right? The date you want to have your dream physique, if you have one, as you get closer, right? Because we're going to be stepping on stage. We want to look full. We want the muscles to look nice and round. We want our muscle bellies full. We want to look big. We want to look jacked, but we also want to be shredded. So you have to know how to time this. And you call it like clearing. If it takes me 3 days to clear a refeed, then what that means is I might have went 258 and I did my refeed. And then the next day I was 259 and nothing really changed, right? I'm back on my meal plan. And then the next day I was 258. And then the next day I was 256. That would be like a 3-day clearing window. Okay, so that means if you have your refeed on Monday, you don't see the results show up till Thursday. So if you have a refeed and then the next day your weight goes up a tiny bit, don't go binging, don't go start going crazy on the diet and thinking it didn't work and texting and calling all your friends and your grandma and telling her you're a failure. You're not a failure. It just takes your body a little bit longer. For me, because I've been doing this for so long and because my metabolism's in a really good spot, it happens for me pretty instantly. But for you, it might take 3-4 days. That's okay. Think of this as like a giant, you're just boop. If your nipple was a reset button, you're just hitting the reset button on your metabolism. And you're throwing the log into the fire, you're turning up the heat, and then boom, you're back. Now you're down 1 or 2 pounds and you have broken the curse of the stall. You don't have a stall anymore. And then just monitor it. If you're stalling out every 7 to 10 to 14 days, like there are clients that like, I'll have them do a refeed and then boom, boom, 2 more weeks. They're losing weight. And then on the 3rd week, hit them with a refeed. Study your body, take notes, actually pay attention like you care, right? Because you should care. And then this will unlock a new feature in you, right? Character unlocked or a new special move. Think of it like that. Mario just got his super hammer or whatever you call it, okay? And then you have that in your arsenal and you know, okay, usually every 3 weeks, I kind of go from 1 pound to 2 pounds of loss to like 0.25, maybe a 1/4 pound to a 1/2 pound. It slows down. So I'm going to throw this in once a month, or I'm going to throw this in once every 3 weeks. Or maybe it's longer. Maybe you throw it in once every 5 weeks, every 6 weeks. And that's how you can learn to utilize this and continue to lose, not muscle. You can continue to lose fat and continue your progress without wanting to blow your brains out. Because guys, trust me, I've been there. I know how stressful it can be. I know how annoying it can be to try to lose weight and then you're losing and everything's going great. You're like, I lost 5 pounds my first week. Then I lost 3 pounds. Then I lost 1 pound. Now I'm losing no weight and I'm just kind of pissed off about it. This is a tool you can use and I promise it'll work. As long as you use it right, it will definitely work. The results will vary. Let me just say that. I'm not a lawyer, but the results will vary. And this is just one tool that you have in the arsenal. I'm going to make more videos later about other things that we use, but this is one of the most common things that bodybuilders like myself use during prep to continuously break down the fat and continue to break through the plateaus. Because you have to think, right? Right now I have about 14 weeks to be about 235 pounds, okay? I'm 256 pounds. So I gotta lose like 21 pounds. I can't afford a 2 to 3 week stall. And you can't afford a 2 to 3 week stall either because mentally you might drive yourself nuts and drive off a cliff and then you're not dieting anymore, you're just dead. So we don't want that. And that's why I'm just trying to take the lessons I'm learning during this prep and be like, oh, that's really important. You guys can apply it to your own life and then you don't have to suffer. You don't have to be like the average American on the average American diet and then try to diet and then not lose weight for 2 weeks and then quit. I don't want to see you do that. So just remember again, even if it's a 1/2 pound to 1 pound, that's okay. Sometimes weight loss is slow. But what I would encourage you to think about is if you lose 1 pound a week for 20 weeks, that's still 20 pounds no matter how you cut it. And if you use the refeeds, okay, mentally you'll stay fresh, right? I got the refeed, I felt good, I had good pumps, I had a good workout, and then the rest of the week I have more energy, I feel really good about myself, and I'm able to keep going forward, all right? And that's all you gotta do is just show up, put in the work, do the work, and then just continue to take the steps you see in front of you. Don't try to look at the mountain peak, just try to look at 10 steps ahead and just keep moving forward and you will absolutely continue to crush your goals and you will obtain your dream physique. I really hope you guys took something from this. I genuinely hope you were taking notes because I know you can apply it to your life and I know that this will help you lose weight, especially if you're stuck. And if you have any questions at all, I'm gonna link my Instagram profile right below. You can shoot me a DM at any time and we can chat it up about how I can help you implement this in your own life.